All right, guys, let's get into it. The GOAT debate, LeBron James, Michael Jordan. So what I want to do is just dive into the numbers, like what makes you the GOAT? And when we're talking about GOAT, we're talking about playing the game of basketball. What makes you the GOAT at the game of basketball? So, is it stats? If it's the stats, let's dive into it. Okay. So, looking at the games that Michael Jordan's played total, all right, 1,072 games. Okay, at 1,072 games, we look at the stats, right? So, Michael Jordan averaged 30 points a game, right? Okay, let's go through, we're just going to go through line by line. Field goal percentage, 49%. Three-point percentage, 32%. Rebounds a game, 6.2. Assists, 5.3. Steals, 2.3. Blocks, 0.8. And again, like I said, points, 30 points a game. Now, that's great stats, all right? So we look at LeBron James, played more games, 1,443 games. We look at points per game, all right, 27.1. Field goal percentage, 50%. Three-point percentage, 34%. Rebounds a game, 7.5. Assists, 7.3. Steals, 1.5. Blocks, 0.8, same as Michael Jordan's. And like I said, points, 27.1. So across the board, if I'm looking at just stats alone, based off of that, the only stat that Michael Jordan leads him in is points per game. All right, so again, if you look at the stats from a career standpoint, LeBron edges Jordan out. I'm just saying, it is what it is. But does that make you the GOAT? Just looking at stats. If we look at the playoff numbers, that gives you an idea of, okay, they say the clutch gene, but we're just going to talk about playoffs, okay? So Michael Jordan played 179 playoff games, and his playoff numbers, 48%, field goal percentage, 30%, three-point percentage, 33 points a game in the playoffs, 6.4 rebounds a game, 5.7 assists. That's great numbers, right? So look at LeBron James in the playoffs, 282 games, 49.5% field goal percentage, three-point percentage, 33%, points per game, 28.5, rebounds, 9 a game, assists, 7.2. So again, looking at everything just from stats, the only statistic that Jordan leads LeBron in is points, all right? But we still have many Michael Jordan as the GOAT. I'm just breaking down the stats. Don't get mad at me. I'm just breaking down the stats. Okay, playoff win and loss record. Okay, looking at Michael Jordan in the playoffs, he has 119 wins with 60 losses. LeBron has 182 wins with 100 losses. Okay, you look at how many times either one of them been swept in the playoffs, or I'm just adding them all together, finals and playoffs, okay? Michael Jordan's been swept twice, and those have been in the first round of the playoffs. LeBron has been swept twice, and they've been in the finals. So you're looking at from a playoff standpoint, they've both been swept 2 times. Okay, now let's dive into buzzer beaters. Again, we all talk about the clutch aspect of it. Jordan has 9 game-winning buzzer beaters. We're not talking about clutch shots or things of that nature. Just Michael Jordan, when it comes to buzzer beaters, he has 9. LeBron James has 7. All right, so if you're comparing just the stats alone, and I'm looking at the stats, LeBron James' stats is better than Michael Jordan's. So that's how you play the game of basketball. It comes down to what you do on the court. All right. So I know one of the biggest things people go to, okay, he's undefeated in the finals. Michael Jordan is, which is true. But at the end of the day, a lot of people on that Bulls team that was there all 6 finals are undefeated in the finals. Scottie Pippen has 6 rings too. He's undefeated in the finals. You know what I mean? You can't take that away from MJ because MJ has been undefeated in the finals. But when you compare the fact that LeBron James been to 10, and yes, he has a losing record in the finals, that's 4-6. But again, you cannot diminish the fact that what does it take to get to the finals that many times. So again, I'm just breaking down a comparison of and really trying to figure out what makes you the GOAT. Many just say it's the 6 rings, but if you're the GOAT of basketball, it's coming down to how you play the game of basketball. And if I look at it, LeBron James, his numbers are just better. You know what I mean? All right, so let's look historically. Okay, where does the two rank when it comes to some of the key stats? Let's talk about points. LeBron James is first in points scored in NBA history. Michael Jordan is 5th. All right. Let's look at assists. LeBron James is 4th in NBA history. Michael Jordan is 51st. All right. Rebounds. LeBron James is 32nd in NBA history. Michael Jordan is 132nd. So again, I'm just trying to understand, and I got to throw this out there, this disclaimer. I grew up idolizing Michael Jordan, always had him as the GOAT, and just even his way that he attacks his competitive nature, I adopted that, you know. So huge Michael Jordan fan, but I'm just calling it what it is as I'm looking at it. And obviously I'm a LeBron James fan too, and I've always had those two as my top players of all time. Now, as time is going on and I'm looking at what LeBron James is doing and what he has done, again, there's an argument for both. But if I look at the pure numbers, I have to give the edge to LeBron. They speak for themselves if you really break it down. You know what I mean? So one of the things that's annoying for a lot of people who are in the LeBron James camp is this. Some of the things that we give credit for to Michael Jordan for, we discredit LeBron James for. All right, so for example, when Michael Jordan is scoring and, you know, get the hell out of my way, give me the ball, and he dominates, we praise that, rightfully so. When LeBron James does it, what many people say, oh, he's just padding his stats. And again, many people just make this argument because they are trying to defend their favorite player's legacy, and versus just looking at the pure numbers, right? So the other thing is when it comes to utilizing your teammates. When Michael Jordan used his teammates, it's well documented the pass he gave to Paxson in the finals against the Suns, Steve Kerr, Scottie Pippen, the list goes on and on. When he's utilizing his teammates, he's being a great leader. He's getting these guys involved. And even on the Last Dance documentary, Michael Jordan said himself that they start winning when he got a team, all right? And he got his team involved and the team starts to develop. When LeBron James passes it to a teammate, and even if they make the play, it's, oh, he doesn't have the clutch gene. Michael Jordan would have shot it. You know, it's like to say, I can't believe even in the finals against Golden State, when LeBron had 40 points, triple-double throughout the finals, and Kyrie had 40 points as well, people say, oh, the only reason they won because Kyrie hit that shot, as if LeBron didn't have 40 that game. You take the 40 points away, there's no shot to hit. You know what I mean? So we have to look at those things and get out of the way of the nonsense, okay? Then if Michael Jordan is known for going off on his team, a lot of his teammates really didn't like him, you know what I mean? But him going off on his team, many say, oh, that's that killer instinct, and he's, you know, if you want to be a winner, you got to, you know, be able to accept that and take it. If LeBron goes off on his team, it's like, what type of leader is he being? You got to motivate these guys. It's like, you know, it's just funny to me. You know, you have it, the same things that he does. Again, we praise Michael Jordan for, but then we'll discredit LeBron for. And again, many people, they just do that to make their argument. at the end of the day, when you're talking about the game of basketball, there's many different levels. And the last thing I'm going to bring up is people talk about, well, he don't have the clutch gene. I just read off these stats. And people who say that, you must have never been in a competitive environment. You don't become the NBA leading scorer without having a killer instinct. You can't have 39,000 plus points at that high level without having a clutch gene. There's many ways to dominate and battle. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a war and you send all the troops, or you send the Navy SEALs and they go stealth, you're still going into doing something, you know, to accomplish a mission being deadly. But there's many different ways to do it. You know, you have some boxers who come in and they're straight power. Boom, 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 boom. You have some that's more tactician and they still dominate you. Those are the two different things that we're looking at. But this notion that there's no clutch gene, again, you can't put up the numbers that he's putting up and not have a clutch gene. The other thing is people say, well, he's been in the league longer. That's why his stats are better. So in a sense, what you're saying is he was better, younger than Michael Jordan. And if you look at when they both were 38, 39 in the league, again, a fan of Michael Jordan, I watched that Wizards season, and Michael Jordan shot 44% from the field. That's aight, you know what I mean? But if you look at what LeBron James is doing at the same age, he is still the catalyst of a championship caliber team. Where he goes, that team will go. And those are the difference. So if he was better at a younger age and he's better, arguably, at an older age, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I think the biggest thing that people fall back on is the 6 championships. But again, Bill Russell has 10. You know, you got a lot of people that has more than 6. So if we're just basing it off of championships, I mean, does that make you the GOAT? Or that makes you someone who was on a really good team and you were a true key piece to that team winning? Michael Jordan, one of the greatest of all time. But when you really break down the true numbers, I have to finally confess and say, I have to give the edge to LeBron James as the greatest of all time at this juncture.